good morning, everybody. Oh, goodness, I hit the wrong thing. Oh, I gave it away a little too early.
Let me do this.
Well,
go ahead. Start.
Oh, no, it's fine. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Welcome to Shakespeare's Coffee Break. I'm your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, and welcome to my brand new co-host, May Hemmer.
Yeah. Wacky arms.
Oh, my gosh. But you know what? I'm your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. I am on my coffee break. May Hemmer is here with me. I guess also on my coffee break. Are you on my coffee break or your coffee break?
I'm on your coffee break because I'm about to go straight to sewing after this.
Oh, all right, very good. Well, you know what? Let's start things off with a nice noisy slurp right now.
Hold on, Mr. Close.
That's just good internet audio.
Yep. I don't think I can do it in this wig because this wig forces good posture. So I'm like,
oh goodness gracious, May Hemmer. Oh goodness gracious, what I do? Why'd I hit that button? May Hemmer. I need to. I've been up since 5:45 this morning. It's like I'm doing an actual morning show in New York City.
That's the devil's hour.
It is, and it is, unless like you're on the Today Show, and then like we've been here since 3.
I'm like, better you than me.
You know what, Al Roker? You do you. You do you, Al Roker. We're gonna get up a bit more casually here.
Yeah, we're just like.
Good morning, and to everyone bidding us good morning, thank you and welcome to the show. We have Alex Stephen Arke. We've got Susan Hill up in Quebec. Oh, fantastic. We've got Kathy Evans. We've got Sally. We've got Mariah. I mean, not Carrie, but still we've got Mariah or Maria. Either way, I'm gonna say Mariah just simply so I can go with this image in my head that you are Mariah Carey secretly watching our show.
I'm here for that.
As am I. We have doubled and delayed audio going on. Oh, that's not great.
Oh no.
Oh no. That's probably from me. Can you? How do I sound to you?
You sound fine to me. You look a little weird, but you sound fine.
All right. This is odd. All right. Well, you know what? We're just gonna forge on ahead. See. Here's probably why I'm using Bluetooth headphones today.
Oh, the AirPods.
My sister gave them to me. I'm feeling fancy.
Look at you.
Yeah, I know, right? And this is how I live my life now. I live my life Team Apple all the way. The camera is an iPhone. The computer running the show is a Mac.
I'm here for it.
I have an iPad over there for reading.
There you go.
I have an Apple Watch over there for when I'm running. I mean.
Oh wait.
Yeah. So I'm going. May, take over the show for a minute. I'm gonna cough.
All right, you go cough. So I'm really excited. Shakespeare asked me to co-host, and I was like, yes, I want to do this. This is also you get to see me at my finest not morning person because I'm usually up late. You think after a year of being in quarantine as a performer, I would have acclimated to not staying up until an ungodly hour, but here I am, still looking like, is it morning yet? It's morning. But like I said, I'm really excited. I'm really honored to be here. And I'm really excited about this topic because I am a nerd, but not a nerd in as much as the way that I want to be. I fell in love with Shakespeare's writings when I was in college and high school, when I was in advanced English. But they only covered so much. They only did like his famous works. They made me upset.
Yep. It's totally true. Yeah. I mean, we don't go through the.
I'm like, can we get? What else do we have? Like, I know Hamlet's great, like, oh, that's awesome, but there has to be other stuff, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's Love's Labour's Lost, there's King John, there's,
I read King John on my own. I did that one on my own in college. I read a bunch of sonnets on my own.
It's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great.
It's not terrible. I just wanted to have the full experience. But in college, I was majoring in something that had nothing to do with Shakespeare. So I only had a little time to fit in.
What did you major in?
I was a double major in Japanese linguistics and finance.
Well, Look at you, be like way smarter than me.
I worked in corporate
I'm not.
banking. I went
I'm
to.
not sure if I'm smart enough to host this show.
No, you're fine. I worked in
Good
corporate
night,
banking
everyone.
for a while.
Shakespeare out. Okay.
Look, let me tell you what that fancy $150,000 paper got me. You see, I'm at home doing burlesque.
All right, Shakespeare's back in. Okay. All right. Oh, well, you know what, May? You and I, we don't have to be experts on this because we can get experts to come in and talk, and other people who are also just incredibly passionate about this topic.
Yes.
And so, I'm hearing the feedback of me. I'm hearing me coming through your speakers now.
Oh.
Yeah, there we are. So,
Hold on. You know what? I bet I know what it is. Hold on. All right,
you do your thing, and
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to introduce our guest. You've seen her on the show before. She was actually on the show 2 weeks ago, talking about gatekeeping and nerd culture, but she is back today to talk about her particular area of expertise, Shakespeare. She's the artistic director of the Zenith Players. Please welcome our special guest, our friend, your friend, my friend, everyone's friend, Claire Bochenek. Muppet Arms! Muppet Arms!
Yay!
He's trying to fix things and do Muppet Arms at the same time. It's amazing. Multitasking, that's what we do. That's what we do on this show.
There we go.
May, for where I just repositioned our images and everything, you have live me right here, and then you also have a picture of me right there. So
I'm between two Shakespeares?
You are between two Shakespeares.
You're surrounded.
That's fine.
You are surrounded. And then we have Shakespeare expert right there, so like on nearly every side.
It's a triumvirate of
Shakespeare.
Shakespeareness.
Yeah, you do. It's a triumvirate of Shakespeare. Yes.
Here for it.
Love
Here
it.
for it.
Oh, goodness gracious. So Claire Bochenek, artistic director of the Zenith Players. I feel like it's been a full 12 hours since last I've talked to you.
Right? We work together a lot.
We do. I mean, you all asking me about a show, and then like me asking you about a show, and all that. So it works out. It works out rather nicely, I think.
I'm a
I think it does.
So, Claire, I'm not sure if we've ever actually asked you this question here on the show before, but for everyone possibly just joining us new for the first time, how did you get into Shakespeare?
So it's funny. I grew up without cable. We lived like on top of a mountain, and to run cable all the way up there would be impossible. So I didn't watch TV. What I did watch was like 800,000 movies.
Yes.
That, like, I got from either my grandmother or like we would just buy. My mom, like, I think felt bad, so she would just like get me like a movie that I was interested in. So then I'm like watching these actors. I'm like, oh, what they're doing is really cool. So then I'd run to the computer and I'd be like, what's their background like? And they all had Shakespeare backgrounds. And I was like, oh, well, if they all have Shakespeare backgrounds, that must be where it comes from.
That's awesome.
So it kind of like went that way. And then I'm like, oh, well, where did they all go to school? I need to train there. And that's kind of how it all continued.
Well, fantastic then. And so you would you call yourself a Shakespeare expert? Because if not, we are going to call you a Shakespeare expert.
Yeah, compare that.
I would not, just because there are people out there that know so much more than I do.
Right.
But I just like to I like to research. I like to sit there and just go through my texts and things like that and examine just what's right in front of us, what's been in front of us for 400 years that maybe we haven't noticed before.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I approach things.
Well, Claire, I have to say, you're doing the exact same thing as the so-called Shakespeare experts. So just embrace it. Just be like, yes, I am. Relatively. I'm a New Jerseyan Shakespeare expert.
There you go.
I felt like I was doing well, and then I was looking at grad school programs, and then I'm watching somebody deliver an address on this very niche topic in one of Shakespeare's plays, and I'm like, this woman she just knows so much. And I was
See, but like, you know what? You have to think of it that there's always someone, that you feel will be more expert than you. Mm-hmm. So it's not, to us who like me, when I saw the topic, I was like, okay, can we delve in Ophelia more? Because I'm really more into her backstory. I don't really care about whiny crybaby over here. I want to know more about her.
No, it's actually funny because I feel like there's a degree of imposter syndrome that happens as well, yes, that we all experience.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Like I was just recently asked to put together workshops for theatre classes on Shakespeare, and I'm like, you don't want me. like,
yeah, I mean,
it's like I've literally been doing this for 20 years, and like you don't want me. You want an expert.
I am a costumer. I've been sewing since I was 5, and I had the Museum of Pop Culture reach out to me to help with a class with young people with cosplaying and styling. And I'm like, first of all, how did you find out about me? Second of all, what?
Third, there's a museum of pop culture? That's amazing.
Yeah, in Seattle. It's pretty baller. They have like a whole Minecraft exhibit. It's pretty cool.
Love it.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't a pandemic because I would have just flown out there instead. But like
truth.
Yeah, but like imposter syndrome is real, and it kind of keeps you humble in a sense because, when you feel like you always have room for improvement, I feel like people always grow. When it comes to something. And so I tell people all the time, when I stop being nervous is when I stop doing stuff, because that means I've kind of stopped caring, so absolutely. embrace your knowledge, let it happen. And there's always school, because I know I'm going to go back for textiles.
And accept that we are all now reaching the point where we're starting to forget more about a topic than other people will ever know.
Yep.
So we're reaching that point, people. It's amazing. And as Susan Hill just put into the comments, one of my favorite hashtags, suck it, Derek Jacobi.
Knows what he did.
Thank you, Susan. I love you. All right. And before we delve into this topic real quick, Janine Rinker has a thought. She says, and Janine is one of our science friends, she says, she thinks becoming an expert is a series of times of feeling like you get it, and realizing how much you don't know yet, or in science, how much nobody knows yet.
Yep.
So I think that is fantastic. And then also, Reverend Tommy says about you, May, oh, look, it is the Week 3 MVP winner.
Because Hypatia was ready to fight.
Oh, yes. May Hemmer, for those of you who don't watch Nat 21 Adventures, May Hemmer is one of the stars of Nat 21 Adventures. I am the announcer for that show. It's Tuesday nights at twitch.tv/Nat21 Adventures. There's constant cross-promotion happening here.
Yep.
So, Claire, let us talk about our topic at hand today, Shakespeare's less noticed women. I asked if you want to come back on and just do another talk, and you said yes! And then you suggested this, so let's go.
Yeah, so basically where my interest in Shakespeare's less noticed women came from was I was in London, I was at RADA, and we were having a discussion about the impossibility of auditioning with monologues that haven't been overdone. The work's been around for 400 years. Eventually, they've all been done.
Mm-hmm.
So just finding the ones that were done less. And there are so many characters that for one reason or other are overlooked. And I don't think it's necessarily a distaste for those characters in general. Rather, there is a preoccupation with other characters. And there's I have to play Juliet or else I'll die. Like,
yeah.
The poetry is pretty. It's very pretty. You won't die if you don't play Juliet.
Yeah.
But there are characters out there who might have just as complex emotions, might have more complex emotions than Juliet. The poetry might not necessarily be as sophisticated because it might have been written in a time in Shakespeare's career when the focus was elsewhere. But that doesn't mean that you can't work the speech just as well in an audition room.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we went about it. And I just kept like digging in and looking. And I am still figuring out, based on just these weekly readings that we've been doing, oh, I've been like totally asleep at the wheel when it comes to certain characters. Constance and King John.
Yes.
Really great. If you like Game of Thrones, if you like Cersei, you'll like Constance. So there's a lot out there to like. There's a lot out there to examine.
Like I know, excuse me. I know when I was in high school and we did a lot of like, I was in advanced English and they, we focused on Shakespeare. And of course, high school in Louisiana, I mean, but my teacher was way better than most teachers. I will say that. And so even though she was like, we're going to watch these movies, but she made us read the entire play as a class, and we all got different parts, which, we were forced to listen at that point because you're paying attention to your classmate and you're like, wait, who is this character? Wait, who is this? Like we'd see the movies as kids, like Mel Gibson and Hamlet or whatever. And I fell in love with Ophelia because I was just like, she just seems like there's so much turmoil going on. And then she just offs herself, and I'm like, but why though? He's a crybaby, but, and like, even in King Lear, like I love the characters in King Lear. I was like, yeah, he's great, but I want to know more. Like, I'm very much, even in movies, like minor 2-bit characters as they call them. I'm like, but what's with them? Especially the films that they just gloss over. I'm like, okay, well, what is she doing? What is she going over? And, when you mentioned Constance and King John, when I read it in college, I was like, oh my God, I love her. Can we get more just her?
So it's funny that you mentioned Lear because Lear is my favorite. It's hands down my favorite Shakespeare play. I was very lucky that shortly after I came back from training, I was cast in a production of Lear as Cordelia, who was my favorite character. Yes. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Cordelia disappears in the play for most of it. However, when Cordelia is missing, that's when the Fool is on stage. Originally, they were played by the same actor.
Oh,
that is a thing I did not know. I did not know they were originally played by the same actor.
Now go with me here, because this is Shakespeare at the height of his career, just playing.
Yeah.
So they're played by the same actor. Now Cordelia is carried on. Spoilers for King Lear. Cordelia's body is carried on.
It's been 400 years. Get over it.
At the end of the play, and he says, "My fool is hanged." So this is Shakespeare acknowledging that it was the same actor.
Fantastic.
I never even...
Yes.
I did not know that.
Really, really interesting to look at. So this now opens up a whole new world for women in theater, because now that we are able to perform on stage, now there are roles that are right there before us. Like, this role has always been played, well, not always, but was originally played by the same actor. So this should be played by the same person.
Same actor, yeah.
Yeah. And it's now, if you look at the parallels between the Fool calling Lear on his nonsense in his nonsensical way, and Cordelia kind of calling Lear on his nonsense in her very straightforward way, it's really kind of fun to look at.
Now I want to go back and read it, because now I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait.
Just simply don't watch the film King of Texas, starring Patrick Stewart. It's a Texas Rancho version of King Lear.
I've seen that.
It's deeply terrible. I'm so sorry. It is deeply terrible.
I shockingly, I like books. I would rather read it.
Hot take. I like books.
I mean, because you know how people are like, I'll watch the movie. No, I like to read the read it first and then watch all the horrible takes. Like when they did the modern version of Taming of the Shrew. Oh my God, who
10 Things I Hate About You.
No, not that. I mean, yes, but no.
Which you can now watch on Disney.
Wait,
but
no,
putting that on there.
Yeah, like it's spoken in the original Shakespearean, but it takes place in the modern time. God, it was in black and white. Hold on. Okay, y'all talk. I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
Are you actually referring to Much Ado About Nothing?
Is that what I'm talking about?
By an artist who I particularly...
Hold on, I might be mixing up movies. Hold on. It wasn't in 1993. No.
Oh, no.
This is new. I went to see it in the theater when I was like out of college and stuff. Hold on.
Yeah, you're probably thinking the Joss Whedon Much Ado. I'm thinking
that might be it. I've had only half a cup of coffee.
Yeah, because
so
that's one of the more recent Shakespeare adaptations.
Was Nathan Fillion in it?
Film. Yeah, Captain Hot Pants. Was he in it?
I don't. Okay, I went to an adult theater with wine. So hold on.
Where are these places?
You never been to like the Cine Bistros where you can have a recliner and you get table service with like full course meals and booze?
It's nice.
Yeah. I want that in my life. Just
I went to the one in New Orleans, and my mom and I, when she would come visit, that's all we did is just got tanked on wine and watched.
I love it, but my ADD kicks in so badly. I don't know what's happening on screen.
New Orleans. That just makes sense. It's like you're allowed to go through drive-through daiquiri places.
Yeah. Yeah, you just go in as long as you don't put the straw in. It's not an open container. You can buy it by the gallon too.
All right.
Sorry.
A friend of mine who's from Louisiana. I met him at the Louisiana Renaissance Festival.
She's like shook. She's like, what?
Yes, you should be shook. Claire's reaction is proper and correct. So a friend of mine whose name is being redacted to protect the innocent. He's from Louisiana. He was visiting his fiancée, now wife, across the border in Alabama from Louisiana. And he's like, I'm going to pick us up daiquiris. It's date night. I'm picking us up daiquiris. And he goes through a drive-through daiquiri place, gets pulled over for a broken taillight in Alabama. And he's going, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And the cop comes up to him and goes, you have a broken taillight. He says he was a really nice patrolman. He's like, oh, thank you. He goes, here you go. I'm not giving you a ticket. Just get it fixed in the next umpteen days. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he goes, wait. I'm sorry, sir, do you have an open container of alcohol? He goes, no. He goes, I'm really smelling alcohol here, so I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to give you a breathalyzer. Passes the breathalyzer. I'm smelling alcohol. What, do you work at a bar? What's going on? He goes, no. I went through a drive-through daiquiri place. I have some daiquiris. He goes, you can't have daiquiris in your car. This is Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama,
where rules and civilization, it's like, it's suggested, but not really follow through. But when Alabama tells you you can't do things because there are rules that societies live by, you know you are being weird.
Well, so, I mean, okay, come on.
New Orleans, Louisiana,
first of all,
that's on you.
We have rules. I mean, they're more like guidelines.
By the way, I need to just remind everyone with a Chiron, this is the actual topic we're talking about, and this is where May and I are right now. So
okay, we're going to go to Louisiana. We'll go through a drive-through daiquiri shop. Just don't put no straws in it. You're good. You can walk around the street with booze. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, you can drink as long as it's not glass. Yeah, you can do whatever.
It's Tortuga.
I miss my home.
It is. It's Tortuga.
It is a port city.
In Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, we have Jean Lafitte's blacksmith shop, which is the oldest building in the city that we're
and has been turned into a smelly, sad bar.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's really terrible. Anyway,
it smells like urine and sadness.
During Mardi Gras, it does smell like urine. It always smells like sadness, though.
Oh goodness. Yeah, Cat Swank, by the way, is agreeing with me. It is Whedon's Much Ado.
It is. I had a lot of wine that night. But yeah,
they just drink that entire movie.
I mean, I drank with them. But yeah, all they did was drink. But anyway, but like, you know, that was cool and everything, but I like reading stuff before I go watch whatever atrocity they do.
Fair.
I mean, but now I want to go watch Pat Stews because I saw ads for that and I resisted, but I only wanted to watch it because of Pat Stew. But
it was a TNT and Hallmark co-production in 2001.
Yes.
I do like the Anthony Hopkins one they did.
Yes.
Long ago.
That one was good.
The casting of the daughters was fantastic. It just, yeah.
I actually watched that one. It looked really interesting, and I love Anthony Hopkins. But yeah, that one was great. Like that one wasn't terrible, like at all. Like he was good though. Like Anthony Hopkins is just, you know, Pat Stew has some phone ins, I guess.
Oh goodness. So Claire, do you have a favorite particular, unless it is Cordelia / the Fool in Lear, do you have a favorite less noticed woman in the Shakespeare canon?
No, but one that I keep coming back to is Olivia in Twelfth Night.
Mm-hmm.
Because much like I have to play Juliet or else I'll die, there's I have to play Viola or else I'll die.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, but Olivia has the better character arc.
Indeed.
Like, they just want to be seen. That's all.
And I think to an extent that's it. Like I've been in multiple productions of Twelfth Night. I have, I'm still in the process of directing a production of Twelfth Night. It's kind of on hiatus because of the
World on Fire, yes.
So
I think it's the official term for it.
I have had actors stop speaking to me because I didn't cast them as Viola in Twelfth Night.
That's certainly why I stopped talking to you.
I know, it's breaking my heart. So there's this sense of I have to play Viola. And Olivia, look at where she begins. Just throwing herself into mourning wholeheartedly because of the death of her brother, and then kind of waking up out of it into coming to life again through her meeting with Cesario, and then all of a sudden finding joy by the end of the play. And her character arc is beautiful, and she's got some amazingly funny moments. So that's kind of the one I always keep coming back to, and I don't know if it's because I've played the role twice that it was thrust upon me where I'm like, oh wait, hold on, this is like a great arc that's happening here.
So just like greatness.
Just like greatness. But that one, in terms of the histories, we had a long discussion about Margaret. First of all, Shakespeare keeps her around for 4 history plays. She's in all of Henry VI, and she's in Richard III. And examining, she's in one scene in Henry VI, Part 1. And she's rather innocent there. And kind of Suffolk enters the scene, and he's like, hey, you're cute. Come back to England. Marry the king. I'm totally going to hit on you the whole time. And she thinks that's how they sell her on coming to England to be queen. And then by Henry VI Part 2, she's thrust into it, and there's people trying to take it away from her. So now we're examining her trying to hold on to this new power that she's got. And then come Part 3, she has a child who's involved in this that she needs to defend because the stakes are really high.
Yeah.
And if your husband isn't king anymore, it just doesn't mean that your son's not going to be king. It means that they're probably going to kill him.
Yeah.
So just watching her journey throughout all of these plays has been really interesting. But again, it's Henry VI, Part 1, 2, and 3. So it's not necessarily like if you walk into an audition room and you're like, I'm going to perform the balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet. They know it. If you walk in and you're like, I'm going to perform Margaret's war speech from Henry VI, Part 3, it's less known.
They're gonna be like, what?
Then there's directors like me behind the table who are like, yes, you have my attention.
Yeah, it's like,
oh, yeah.
You've done your research. Like you've done more than the surface level of things.
Having been on both sides of that table, as the actor who's looking for a monologue that you can kill, but also something that they haven't necessarily heard of, and you have a reasonably good shot of ensuring that they haven't heard it. But also as someone who wants to hear something new, if only to break up the drudgery of the day.
Yeah.
So just someone who stands out, not because even they're necessarily amazing, but because you hear the same monologue 12 times in a day. It's like everyone just kind of starts running together, no matter how good or bad they are. You want that different monologue. You want that different soliloquy.
There's
and
a fear of
great.
transitioning away from what's known. Do I understand this text well enough to perform it? Well, just make a strong choice. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's okay. And that's kind of like, I'm kind of like on my director soapbox now, but I hate American Idol.
Yes, I hate that show.
But the
strong take.
One,
all right, let's attack Ryan Seacrest right now.
It's them turning bad auditions into comedy.
They turn it into a circus. They turn it into a witch hunt with bad auditions, and I don't like that because people can't grow.
There's not a single director who wants to see you fail as an actor. We're sitting behind that table rooting for you. We are your biggest fan at that moment because we want somebody to help us elevate this text to something brilliant. So the last thing we want to see is for somebody to come in there. We're on your side. We are 100% on your side and we want to be coworkers. So it's just that show and the way they treated auditions has created so much anxiety in the actors that it drives me nuts. And I'm like, no, I'm on your side. I am rooting for you. Just make strong choices. If you're wrong, we can adjust it and then work together.
It's a learning process. And you know, as a, how do I put it? As a performer in general, you know, when and I was a dancer for 5,000 years. So when you go in and I did ballet for way too long. You know, when you're auditioning, you know, a part, or, you know, obviously when you're doing ballet, it's the same rhetoric, like it's the same routine that's been choreographed over and over again. It's just who's the strongest at it, who can do it on point, stuff like that, you know, and it's nerve wracking. And when you see shows like this that turn auditions into chaos, that's why I think a lot of younger people are so gun shy and always go for the things that are known, thinking, okay, it's safe.
Yep.
It's safe. It's fine. It's safe. You know, whatever. But it's monotonous too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's caused people to not break out and be themselves, to me, and taking those risks, you know, as an artist should.
Absolutely. It's been interesting also to watch the evolution of things that are accepted in auditions. When I was auditioning for drama school originally, and this wasn't that long ago, in like when I'm looking at the context of everything, I was not permitted to audition with a man's speech. Men were able to audition with a list of speeches. Women had a separate list of speeches. To be fair, the lists were equal, but the men's speeches were all speeches that we have heard over and over again. And then all of a sudden, I am choosing between Portia from Caesar and some Phoebe speeches, and things that are less well known, things that are more strange to my ear. So I kind of felt like they moved the starting line for women a little bit back, and those speeches weren't in my head already, like say Friends, Romans, Countrymen, which was on the list for men. So yeah, things have changed, fortunately, for the better, because now it's my understanding that you can audition with any speech off of one list. So there's that.
That's a far better way of being. I mean, and now as a white hetero cis super genius, I think that's the term we use, right? Yeah, that's super genius, right? Yes. Yeah. See, May agrees with me, and I'm going to take that as gospel. So, back in the day when I would audition all the time, in interest of looking for monologues that were not done as much, or even just give you a different look, I would do everything from sonnets, and deliver them as monologues, which still 20 years later not done that often, but also women's monologues, women's characters. I would go in when I was young and pretty and I had a full head of hair with Juliet, because I was not of the type to be considered as Romeo, but I wanted to show you I can still play that. I would go in with Lady Macbeth's Unsex Me Now speech. I would go in with I think I used a Queen Margaret from Richard III
Nice.
Monologue.
Here's the thing with Margaret, like a lot of those speeches, if you don't say who's delivering them, I promise you can't tell if it's delivered by a man in Shakespeare's plays or a woman. Sorry, carry on.
No. I'm just saying that there is no earthly reason why anyone, whether it is a school, whether it is a repertory company, whatever, should segregate monologues based on men's and women's. I mean, you can say, yeah, these are traditional men's monologues, women's monologues. You can go right ahead based on who is delivering the actual lines. That being said, anybody should be able to grab whatever monologue they want. Because, let's go back 400 years, it was all men playing the parts.
Yep.
So, me being young and pretty, I could play Juliet when I was 17 years old. I could, now in my dotage, play, maybe not Lady M, she's a bit too sexy, but I might be able to play Queen Margaret in the later renditions. Just because I am now developing a certain amount of gravitas. And she has it. Everyone... Oh, go ahead, Meg, please.
No, I was just wanting to say, and I think that's fair that it shouldn't be gender specific. I have a really good friend of mine. They went to the British American Drama Academy, I think is what it's called. And they were casted as Mercutio. And because they just, they look femme, but they prefer more masculine roles, and they killed it. And I don't think they auditioned for any of the femme parts. I think it was all the masculine parts, and they look. I mean, I think it's just your stage presence, and too. I don't understand why. Which probably why I never got into the speaking roles in theater stuff, because I was like, why do I have to be pigeonholed? That's a whole other thing though. But like, why do I have to be pigeonholed, to this one role? And I just like, I'll just stick to the chorus line of just dancing around in, Twelfth Night or some crap or whatever, but, growing up, it was really weird because I identified with certain characters or, I was like, well, I like this dude better and blah, blah, blah. And it's weird how, even still, unfortunately, they do try to push women towards female roles. Whereas my friend, I respect them like totally. They were like, I'm going to be Mercutio, F this. And I mean, they did the facial hair and everything. And I didn't know who the frick it was for a minute. Cause I was like, who the heck is that? But it's nice to, hear from tenured people that, it's like, yeah, I'll audition for this chick. I'm like, yes, finally.
You need to have, and I'm so sorry, Claire, to be jumping in on this so much, but you need to have, and Shakespeare has the amazing ability, and by Shakespeare I mean the work, not the person right now, has this amazing ability right now to, because it is so old and so well thought of, to be simultaneously done in a very historical, this is the serious way of doing it, and then also to be treated with a little bit of irreverence. And we're going to do Forbidden Planet, which is basically The Tempest in space. We're going to do a complete gender reversal at this small community theatre or local Shakespeare repertory company of the King Henry plays. So all the women are men and all the men are women.
I'm here for that.
It's amazing when it's done because it brings different life experiences and brings different attitudes to the roles.
We, when we did our all female or female identifying Caesar, there were men that I'm friends with that were like, oh, I wish I could have been a part of that. And I'm sitting, I never said it out loud. So I guess now saying it out loud on, Shakespeare's Coffee Break is the time to say it. And I'm like, oh, imagine how women felt for all that time to be on the stage.
I wish I could have been a part of that. Oh, really? Tell me more how you feel.
My heart bleeds for you.
No, seriously.
I feel so bad.
Think what people who look like me are feeling, all right? All right, think. Here, I'm gonna give myself the solo shot. That's what we're doing. Think of my needs. Think of me. The now, I suppose I can't deny it anymore. Middle age. I'm 40. White, cis, hetero man. Think of what I need. Think of what I need, world, and then give it to me because I deserve it.
Think of all the privilege I've had, but give me more.
Yes. Think of all the times I was passed over for a role. Not because I was not talented, but because I didn't look right for it.
Gasp.
I know.
I mean, honestly, and like bringing into another aspect, think of, like, for me, I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. Like I had a love affair with historical costuming, reenacting and stuff like that. But growing up, it was, okay, but you can't do that. You're Black. And I'm just like, so we just popped up out of nowhere? Like, I don't understand how we just don't exist in insert year here. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure the sun was around since the dawn of time. So I know, but it was crazy. And that's part of what discouraged me from actually going into the theater stuff, because I heard that too much and I said, F this, I'm done. I'll just do whatever. But, now that I'm older, in my 30s, I started having kids in my late 20s, and I was like, what, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm tired of this. So like, I delved more into the historical costuming. I delved more into the period costuming and stuff. And like, I had a friend of mine before COVID was like, oh my God, you should totally audition for like Charlotte as like a cast member at the Ren Fair there. And I was like, does that mean I have to talk to people? But it's gun shyness, because when you've heard so much, oh, well, brown people weren't in this, blah, blah, blah. They couldn't play this, blah, blah, blah. They weren't.
They disappeared for 400 years.
They weren't, of nobility, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hold, please. let me turn to page such and such of the Black Tudor book. Did you not see the black dude that whipped a white man because he had higher status? Hold on, let me keep going. Oh, did you not see the Moroccan woman that had status because she was a dressmaker and she was making gowns for the royalties? Hold on, let me turn the page. Oh, the bitch that was half white and half black, and she still was nobility. And her father, I was like, I can keep going.
Did we not know about Suleiman the Magnificent, who
Bro!
wooed Queen Elizabeth II? He was turned down. Not because she didn't like him. Apparently, she thought he was incredibly charming. But other than the fact that, you know, she didn't get with anybody other than Robert Dudley, and that's another story entirely altogether.
That's a whole other thing.
It's because he was already married thrice over. Because he was, you know, the emperor of the Ottoman Empire.
Look,
That's
I'm
what
just
you
gonna
do.
throw. I'm just gonna like throw
She's
that
like, I'm
on
not
out
going to
there.
be one of 4 wives.
I'm like, that was what it was. I was like, you already got 3. What do I look like being the 4th?
Apparently, he offered to divorce but maintain the other 3 wives as concubines.
Elizabeth
in
learned her
favor
lesson
of
from her
Elizabeth.
daddy. Okay.
In front of her.
Elizabeth learned her lesson about her daddy, so she wasn't even about to get
She's
involved.
like, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's like,
She was
I've
like,
seen what happens when men...
Mm-mm.
On that
Exist.
topic, there is. I had to stop myself because I was going to get in a fight on Facebook, and I was going to get left for calling somebody terrible names. But there was a lot of outrage because there is, I think it's still in production, a black actress cast as Anne Boleyn.
First of all, I'm here for this. Second of all,
she looks amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
you sent me
I'm
the
not
stills.
familiar with the rest of her work, but people say she's a great actress. But people on this comment thread are losing their minds, and I just wanted to
I got in several internet fights when they casted Haley Bailey as the Little Mermaid. I was like, oh no, there's a black mermaid in the Caribbean.
All right. I'm sorry. I have to pause. Her first name rhymes with her surname?
Haley Bailey. Haley Bailey.
Well, that's... Hire her for everything, Disney.
She's an
because
amazing
she has
singer.
a Disney name.
I'm like, she's an amazing singer. She's gorgeous. Like, she's a cute little young woman. And I was like,
turn her into a cartoon character. Her
I'm
name
like, so
was
y'all
Haley
mad?
Bailey.
So y'all mad that there's a brown mermaid in the Caribbean? I'm confused.
In the
oh
my God, you're right. In the Caribbean.
I'm like, okay, cool story. But getting back into the British fact, I was like, are we just gonna ignore Queen Charlotte?
Yes.
Did y'all not? Did y'all not look? Okay, cool story, bro. I'm like, did y'all not look at her? Did you not look at her? Okay, yeah, because that's totally a full white woman right there. But and I was real. I mean, Bridgerton. Let's, if we're gonna go into that, wasn't exactly historically accurate, but all me and my POCs were happy that they just casted people. They weren't.
Nice.
It wasn't all white people. And the fact that they got a mixed POC woman to play Queen Charlotte, I was like, thank you. We are not just going to whitewash over this. And she's amazing. I've seen her in other stuff, and she's freaking amazing. And the guy that plays Simon, I mean, he's really pretty, but I've seen him in other stuff too, and I was here for it. So I was really confused when it started out okay, and I was really confused when I was watching around about episode 4. I was like, wait, when did this turn into a whole, 50 Shades of Grey here? What's going on? Am I watching the same show? But, it was nice to see a diverse casting without any discrimination. And, shut up, Shakespeare! But, real talk, it's nice to, hear that they're casting other ethnicities as these characters, as if we just didn't appear, as if we always existed. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it's just nice. I didn't have that growing up.
Absolutely. On that token right there, I have to also point out, and I'm sorry, you were going on such a beautiful tirade, I had to give you a hashtag. I'm sorry.
I'm here for it.
That's just all there was. So, have you seen The Great on Hulu?
I haven't seen it yet.
All right. So, it's about Catherine the Great in the court of Peter, her husband, and it is a diverse cast. in Russia.
What? Hold on. Let me
Exactly.
add to my list.
You have now Russia covers Europe and Asia, so of course
Yeah.
you would have ethnic Asian people in Russia at the time and now. But when you also have black people playing Russian counts, when you have an Hispanic man playing a duke, when you have people from all over, because they are, quite frankly, the best person for the job, and the creators said, we want to showcase diversity, let the story attend to itself. And whoever the best actor is, while casting a diverse net for actors, that was the way to win. And it is a phenomenal show, and I absolutely love it. I can't wait until they can give us season 2, because it is amazing. Oh, it's a play!
It is.
Oh, it's a play?
It's a play.
Is that where it ends? Then please tell me that's not where it ends, because
I don't know, because I can't get
want more.
the script, because like the playwright is in Australia, and like
let me look. I'm looking this up.
in Netherlands or something wild, and
I'm reasonably sure they have the internet in Australia.
Oh yeah, this is the one that I saw, and I just hadn't had time to watch because I was working on stuff at the time. Okay, is it a play? Wait,
It is. It is. I can't remember. TJ has the details, but we've been trying to find a way to, like get the rights for it.
Listen, I want to play Peter simply so I can just offhandedly all the time say, huzzah. Just
Because
very offhand.
I saw
It's
that Elle
amazing.
Fanning was in it,
Yes,
and
she's fantastic.
And like I saw the corpse because it's real comical in some of the aspects, like some of the stuff that they would do, and I'm like, are they taken from real life? Because if so,
Yes.
I don't know how these people got along.
It is simultaneously horrific and hilarious.
I'm
back
gonna
to
have
back,
to make.
like-
I'm gonna have to bump it up in my queue of stuff to watch on my streaming
Pe-
because
people will be murdered in front of you, and then there is a laugh line, and you're like, oh wow.
Okay, but like Russian history, my undergrad is in history, and my Russian history classes, I'm like reading this, and I'm like, this is wild.
dude,
Like,
and
I think English history is wild. This is
well,
like,
it's funny because like I love I mean, when I was in high school and stuff, and I loved all the historical stuff. You know, I would go and read. I'm like, okay, I like these outfits. You know, what era is this? I wanted to learn the proper terminology and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm like reading the English history. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Then I start reading the Germans. I'm like, oh my God. And then I read Russia. I'm like, did anybody live ever for more than 2 days? You're just murdering everybody. And like the funny part is, like, my husband is part Austrian. Like he's Austrian. His mother her maiden name is Nagli, and they're still Naglis in Austria to this day. Like if you're a Nagli, their name hasn't changed in spelling, and they're related in the story. Like there's no denying it. And so we're like, before we even I think when we first married, I was like, oh, let's do family tree stuff. You know, I kind of got as far as I can on mine. When they were Hessians, straight up Hessians.
Oh, as in they came to fight for George III in the American Revolution.
No, it was better than that. They were the Hessians that came to fight for George in the American Revolution, got here and went, nah, took England's money, started fighting for the Americans, took America's money, and went back from where they came from. So they double. I was like, no wonder your family is so resourceful, bro. Like y'all just took money.
They double
The
murked.
original
They
triple
double
cross.
murked.
They did. They were like, we're coming here to kill you, but if you pay. And so they fought against the English with the Americans. I'm like, what is happening?
See,
They're like,
the greatest version of that would be, all right, we will take your money, England. We're going to come over to America and just go, all right, look, England made us a deal. You want to pay us? All right. And then go to Canada.
Well, they went back to where they came from.
But
And
I just
then
mean
they-
without fighting and like, all right, now let's go to Canada and just like,
It was
you know,
it was so
claim
silly.
it.
I'm like, what is wrong? I was like, y'all make so much more sense now.
yeah,
So much.
it's amazing.
And we
But
found
this
out his great grandmother was Henry VIII's mother.
That's some fun stuff.
I was like, I'm boring.
So can we get you and your husband into the line of ascension.
I don't know.
For,
I'm like, I was like, can you be claimed for Henry of York? Because I'm here to go live somewhere else.
Susan says Canada is not to be claimed.
We're not here to claim. We just want to escape the foolishness. They just want to escape the foolishness.
I'd like to claim it. I'd like to claim it. It's what we do.
Can somebody adopt me? I have 2 beautiful little kids. My husband's useful. I can make clothes.
He's useful.
Oh, and my mother-in-law is a chef.
Useful. Oh, that's fantastic.
Adopt me.
Thank you thank you so very much for coming on to talk about some of the less noticed women in Shakespeare and spawning a fantastic dialogue that went into hashtag May's Monologues. Thank you for that, audience, for giving us May's Monologues as a new hashtag.
I'm here
for this. A wonderful conversation about what monologues we can do and not. I had no idea where this conversation was going to go today, and I am thrilled with it. So I hope you will always and forever come back as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
What is the next Zenith Players show?
The next Zenith Players show, funny you should ask, because we are organizing them as we speak. We're doing Mary Stuart.
Oh.
Ooh, is that the basis for the Mary Queen of Scots film?
It is. Actually, it has been a play for a while. The translation was a little wacky, so we're in the editing process still with trying to kind of cut it down. But it's really interesting because it's based upon a fictional meeting between Mary and Elizabeth.
Nice.
Never happened, but what if? What if? What would that conversation be like? So
that'll be this Saturday, February 20th.
20th, yes.
Fantastic. And you can watch that at facebook.com/Zenith Players. Also, head on over to zenithplayers.com and click on that highly attractive donation button. So, Claire, thank you so very much. Can't wait to have you back on the show very, very soon. And we will all chat soon. But I'm going to talk with May here for just a second.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. May! Thanks. Did you have a good time today?
Wait, wrong way. Yes, this was fun. I'm really glad to do this. I'm like, wrong way. I'm so used to looking this way in Nat 21. I have to look this way.
I know, and I moved the cameras and then they put me over here.
You're fine.
Whatever.
No, this was great. This was a very interesting discussion that was insightful for me too, as someone that's always kind of been into it. And it's nice to hear that directors don't want to hear the same crap over and over and over and over and over and over.
They don't, we don't, whatever side of the line I'm on any given week, or Claire is, we don't want to hear the same thing. We want to hear you be original, but make strong choices, and also, can you speak the speech?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what we want. So, are you going to come back and
I'll be here next week.
Position as co-host? Fantastic.
I'll be here for sure on Mondays. My day job, I have to figure out what the world's going on at that quilt shop. But yeah, I'll be here for Mondays for sure.
Well, I'm so very glad to have you here as my new co-host.
Yay! Hopefully I'll have a more appropriate costume. I'm working on it. Literally, I just cut out the stuff for my corset.
You with all the pink, you look like you are a refugee from Strawberry Shortcake Land.
Yes.
Or with the pink and everything, just like the pink and the white and everything, you are a human macaroon.
Oh my god! And my mother-in-law just made macaroons too, red velvet one. Oh, I think I'm gonna eat one.
I gave my wife macaroons for Valentine's Day.
Oh yay!
Yeah, she is quite happy.
They're fun to make if it's not crappy weather outside.
Oh,
that makes a difference.
I ordered them, so I don't.
Look at you! Look, next time just pay my mom-in-law because she makes them from scratch.
I will do. Yeah, send me
name
a
of flavor.
Send me a link for her, and I will. Oh goodness, audience, you can catch May Hemmer in all the places. Facebook.com/May.Hemmer. Instagram, she's at the May Hemmer. Twitter, also that's still a thing, at the May Hemmer. And then mayhemmer.com. And then, if you want to show her some financial love, you can do that on Venmo, on PayPal, CashApp, KoFi. Go do all the things you can give your May Hemmer some love and go do it, please and thank you, because
I have an extensive habit that's called fabric.
And also, eating and
and food.
Yeah. So please do that. Show May Hemmer all the love. She's one of my favorite people I've met during this pandemic year, and I've met some amazing people.
He just doesn't know it yet.
And look out for new projects coming from us in the very near future. And if you enjoy this show half as much as I enjoy making it, I obviously enjoy it twice as much as you do, and that's called maths. And thus, whatever you feel the show is worth, a 1, a 5, a 10, 4, a 50, I will come and do an inappropriate monologue in your front garden, throw it into my hat, and buy me a cup of coffee. Go to ko-fi.com/Shakespeare, that's ko-fi.com/Shakespeare, or go to patreon.com/Shakespeare and become a Patreon of the arts. Tiers start at $3, go all the way up to $30. All the tiers get the same rewards right now. And among those rewards are one of the upcoming things right here. Actually, two of the upcoming things. So, number one, you get to go to the next concert, Shakespeare's Friday Night Concert Series. That is this Friday night. If you are one of my patrons, you get to go for free. And that is pretty fantastic and wonderful. But otherwise, tickets are only $5. And you can get those tickets on Eventbrite. Tonight, this week's concert is The Langers Ball. Doors open on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. Concert starts at 8 p.m. Tomorrow on Shakespeare's Coffee Break, I might just be doing a Q&A. Ask Shakespeare anything. So join me for that. Again, 10:35 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then on Wednesday morning, Madame Onsa is going to be here talking about tarot and what performers should be paid and everything. Basically treating performers as, actual workers. So, a couple of more new shows coming up as well. Thursday in this time slot, we have Writing Sonnets with Shakespeare. You can watch that at facebook.com/ShakespeareApproves, youtube.com/ShakespeareApproves, and now at twitch.tv/Nat21Adventures. You, the audience, and me, your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, we are writing a sonnet together every Thursday morning. Friday morning at 10:35, the watch party on my Facebook page, facebook.com/ShakespeareApproves, of Shakespeare Reviews. It's the movie review show I do with Andrew McKee, the Irish bard from Life's Affair. New episodes every Friday at Life's Affair on Facebook and YouTube, and we do the watch party on my Facebook page at 10:35 in the morning. Friday afternoon/evenings, we are doing Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour. This Friday, our musical guest is Langers Ball. I'm hoping to get Gwendolyn from The Gwendolyn Show on as our guest, and Claire from Zenith Players will be with us, as she usually is most Fridays, usually accompanied by TJ. And then, as if that's not enough other shows to promote real quick, we have Richard, Too Fast, Too Furious, the brand new show. Yes, Richard, Too Fast, Too Furious, my brand new play, presented by the Social Distancing Players. It's the online theater company I started when pandemic began. So that is going to be next Wednesday, February 24th at 7:05 p.m. here on my Facebook channel, facebook.com/ShakespeareApproves. You can support the performers in the Indiegogo campaign by going to igg.me/@/Richard Too Fast Too Furious, and I'm going to put that link in the comments in just a moment. Also, the next day, we have a Murder at Cloudhaven, our interactive murder mystery with the New Jersey Renaissance Fair. It is a different ending than when we did the show back in December, so join us for that. Lots of theater coming your way. You can get tickets for the Murder at Cloudhaven Chateau at njrenfair.com. So much going on. Of course, Nat21 Adventures tomorrow night at twitch.tv/Nat21 Adventures, starring the great and good May Hemmer. Oh my gosh, May, that's you. May, anything else we need to talk about real quick?
I think we're good. I might be able to poke in tomorrow since I don't think I'll have work.
All right.
So I will ping you, and then if it's Ask Shakespeare anything, I'm just gonna write a bunch of random questions to get the party started.
I think you should. I'm loving some of these comments over here.
I know.
Largely just based on us joking about Canada. I could be a mail order bride to a worthy Canuck. I guess funny. Canada is sort of like that planet in Doctor Who that just welcomes conquerors. Yes?
Yeah.
Except that you are bordered by two big oceans and it's difficult.
Yeah.
And if the Americans couldn't take it, everyone just kind of gave up after that.
No, we're like that.
So thank you everyone for watching the show. She's May Hemmer. I'm your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. I love you. You love me. There is mutual glorious affection. We will see you soon. Bye-bye. Good night, Seattle.
Bye.